YouTube.
Yeah, we
And when
live.
and when
Eh?
when
Share.
when we go on YouTube,
As you are?
we will go on YouTube yeah, we live on YouTube.
What's about Facebook?
So Facebook.
Let me see if I can share on my Facebook page.
Oh man, oh Lord. Oh guys. Good morning, guys. Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. I mean, it's been quite a long time. It's been quite a long time we haven't been, on the show. So you, let's sit down and set that thing on your computer. We set it on your
The computer got 4 RAM. The RAM of the computer is small, like 2 gig RAMs. But we can still set it. We can still set it.
let you will have okay. Online. The stuff will be online. Let it download in your phone. But I don't know my screen go off.
If my string can go off, no, my string can go off.
I don't know. My screen go off.
No, my string can go off. I trying to share the thing, but like it won't misbehave. I don't know. I don't know where you can share it. But I want share, so I can share on my page.
YouTube.
Check on your stuff, then see where anywhere we got touch something. I think I go in different place. I didn't want to. You getting me coming back? Coming back. So coming back, that is share button. I'm trying to look for you to see how I can share this stuff, but it's still giving me a little bit of.
No, you're not in share button. You know
Eh?
what I wanted to do?
No.
I wanted to do when you have a chance to broadcast, to broadcast them.
Yeah, that what I want. That what I want to do. At least I can be able to serve a host. At least I can be able to share it from my end here.
That money,
Eh?
you go money sir.
La amara. Oh, we supposed to pay?
You go to pay, you do your Visa card or your PayPal. There are a lot of there are a lot of stuff on the software. For instance, where you get what you can do, where you can see some minimum overlay, whether the minimum on the other platform it can be send me the document and me post it that everybody see it, that kind of posting all the thing it there. But it need upgrading. But
Oh,
for you to upgrade, when you go to upgrade Visa card number, then from there you can pick up on it. You see now I'm broadcasting on my YouTube channel and my YouTube channel I really get follower of the non zero.
on our Facebook, in our Facebook now we got the entire day we got people coming, we got people running.
Fala, tem não, get somebody now come here or whatever. So come here, as how you call it, as the title depends tonight, Cheche Pule, lega lega
Come
runs on Cheche Pule.
back, get it. Who job for now getting tired with.
But come
At
here,
the at the at the point I want to believe that the cartel now for the money say the cartel
no,
now if a child system the chakra everything going.
my man, imagine, see the president, the president should be very doubtful of anyone currently in his government or people that even in the opposition. So for the
For
president to
sure.
come, yeah, for the president to come out definitively, in a kind of a situation and express, explicit confidence in a so-called police chief, my man, disappointed, bro. It tells you something, something sinister. My man, they kind of what time is supposed to be. Don't, if you saw my post, right? I posted on my Facebook, and I said, drug money is very, irresisting. It's something that it's difficult for you to say no. So whenever names are called, right, do not rush or don't put your name on the chopping board and say the person is not involved.
Yeah.
You getting me? So it's
Yeah.
a
Yeah.
first doubt. So I mean, on the surface, I haven't seen a person or the person, character or behavior doesn't depict so and so and so. But I, they will not be as speculated or as alleged. But you can subject the person to the legal system. Let the person go through the legal system. Let the person, defend himself. If they are exonerated, then that confidence still remains. But for you to come up and tell your nigga and put it on the chopping board, my man, I tell my nigga put it on the chopping board, so and so president involved, so and so thing. What? Are you kidding? Even my pastor that put me, I can't put my name on the chopping board now, boy. Then one boy, a politician, I have more than 5 million tongues. That one can explain from Genesis to Revelation. They will talk something here, then you go, you record them, and tell you now what they say. That kind of a
Yeah.
talk,
You are.
man.
Yeah. Bro. Yeah, one of the thing about the drug issue or coming back, sometimes those guys will come to you, they're not coming to they are not going to tell you that they are that it is just money they are giving you.
Of
They will
course.
give you like body put in some of those cars. It is possible they can give you car like I said from the beginning. They will not tell you the money the car we're giving you. We are giving you the car because we want to do or drug business. The guy they will all like philanthropics. They are like they are good people with good intention. They will all like because of the work you are doing. They build relationship with you. And we are all human. When people do favor for you, at a certain point, even your position it can be compromised, right? So you can see the men carrying certain issue. You may not even have that moral voice. You may not even have that moral stand you're going to stop him. Because they may have already gifted you with something before. You are already why we can toss it, they may swear in your stomach, right? So you
Yeah.
already have taken from this man. They may have given you or given you doing or been doing you some favor, right? So to resist this man now, it is very difficult, right? Before you realize the man come to your door, man, this is what I am doing. By that time, you are already going deep into all of the transaction, man, sending you money. Oh my man, buy your scratch card today. My man, buy your gas today. Then because you will think that because of the work you're doing, not knowing he is, implicating you into something that you don't even know. It could be the case, But to just for me, I don't really believe that somebody will be in government. Yeah, I don't. Somebody will be in government, and then the like Joel, like Madam Joel, right? Like the RG, and then the people say we are doing just business. You see. So let's take for example, even all of these things, if I want to make sense with this thing, like Martin Cody trying to say, Joel is linked to the girl that he trying to link to Como. So it is true, and then Como knows that the girl is linked. You don't think that Joel Joe Howard Taylor. We also want to link the police RG because he too should be in the know.
Of course,
Like
of
everyone of
course.
them, everyone they are doing business. So the whole thing now is just complicated. Everything just I ain't understanding anything with the whole George shit again. As well.
Let me say this, right? If you look at the fight of Mountain and how you call him and Monto, right? The reason he's seeing from my understanding, right? From my understanding, the reason I'm seeing Martin, the legs of Martin, Wanto, they are fighting everything possible to link, to connect the dots, right? It's because of the level of like just we discussing the background, right? The level of propaganda that has been spewed, so network well as should be joining refusing, some of them even being explicit, expressing similar confidence as the president did, right? Expressing similar confidence in the police chief. So, my man, let me say this: nobody accusing anybody, right? If the court, even if they accuse you, it is alleged, right? Meaning you are presumed innocent till proven guilty in a competent jurisdiction. Okay. But many of
You
those
guys only
many of those who were arrested are folks that perhaps they were never called Rahinelli, right? But because one way or the other, they have some affiliation, they have some connection with people who are affiliated with a kind of they kind of out and how you call it, drug brother. So it makes it making people to feel like, you know, why would people want to connect the dot? For instance, why should the police chief continue to, spearhead the investigation, especially when people who is, around him in an immediate cycle is being accused of, being linked to the kind of cocaine crisis. So that's why you see people like Mandy and how you call him and Wanto, they're fighting hard, to convince people that it is not possible or it is highly likely or highly impossible that people who you work with as the head, especially in an institution, a security institution where things just don't happen automatically. People just don't wake up and do things because they want to do things, right? People wake up and they do things because what? They receive call or command from higher authority. So people who are being accused are people who are subject to the police chief. So if people like that are being accused, yeah, people like that are being accused, and their boss for whom they take instruction from, isn't being linked, is the one that creating doubt in the entire investigation. In my belief, that's what I believe. So this is why you see many like mounting the want to, they are putting their credibility, their credential, they are putting it on the line, trying to create the dot, the analysis to link those guys. So but how be it is that, let me say this, my disappointment is with people who are politicizing this issue, this fight. This fight should be about, it's not about one political party versus another political party or the governing party versus the opposition, right? But I think that's the route. That's the route that so many people are taking now, especially the Unity Party and that of the CDC. So this is where the disappointment is coming from. So if you see people like, I think there should be a bipartisan, bipartisanship. For the very first time in the history of our existence, there should be one thing that should bring every one of us together, be it a politician, professional individuals, and taxi rider, keke, people who are in the informal sector or people who are in the formal sectors, politician, everybody. There should be bipartisan approach. And this issue about these drugs should be a bipartisanship. So the disappointment is that the fight against drugs is something difficult because you will be dealing with a whole number of individuals who made up the cartel, some of whom have influence, some of whom are financially inclined. So to break up the chain, they will do everything possible to use, people within the system to, they will do everything possible to prevent themselves so that they cannot be implicated or being exposed. You getting me? So if people who wants to aid the investigation is coming and pointing, it is our, humble plea to His Excellency the President, somebody who, he's the one who appointed those guys, right? And those guys report to him. So we are appealing to the president, people whose name are being called, you know, those should be, there should be independent task force. If you don't want to relieve them of the job, fine, they can remain. But you should have independent task force who will be investigating them and trying to create connect the dots to see how best, sense can be made out of the kind of allegations and other stuff that are being. People need to. I can. This afternoon I saw a post from Martin Colley, right? Martin posted on his Facebook page accusing, was it no yesterday rather, I'm so sorry, yesterday, day before yesterday, Martin posted on his Facebook page and he appeared on the OK Morning Rush where he directly accused the police chief of being involved in his drug, in his drug situation. So, and to our utmost surprise, yesterday we saw, you know, a press statement in the media, claiming to have, made some clarification. And which of course if you read that paper or if you read, the press statement that were released by the police, it doesn't, address in detail those allegations that were made against the police. In my belief, right? That's what I believe. So there should be more explanations. There should be more, proof documentations to some of the things that, will be to some of the things that will be uh, uh, to some of the things that will be that the police, will want to defend. Because on the flip side, people who are accusing the police, they are not just accusing the police. They are providing some documentative evidence. Some of them are bringing up chat conversations among people, people who are involved, people who they are directly, accusing. I mean, up to today's date, there were a lot of accusations, there were a lot of, documentation that was being thrown out to the public. So we need the police. We are not saying it is true. For me, I'm not saying it is true. We on the platform, we are not saying it is true. All we are saying is that we are asking or begging the government to see it or to deem it necessary, especially Labrador National Police, to deem it necessary to come out with, you know, substantive clarity or, simple clarity. And the clarity should be very clear and simple so that my mirror in the market will understand what, the police is saying. So there are a lot more to go. We hope that, we win this battle because this is the only moment, like Mountain and want to say, right, this is the only moment that we have to dismantle this cartel. Let me tell you something. Some of you whose children are now victims of this drug will now understand the kind of, weakness that those people are inflicting on the nations. Come to think about this, right? We have a whole lot of youthful populations. The current generations of leaders are almost, especially look at the president, right? The president is an aging president. So in a couple of years from now, people who are being considered the youth of today will be the elders of tomorrow. And it is expected of them that they will lead a nation. It is expected of them that they should be the one, assuming authority. So The generations of tomorrow, those who should be the leaders of tomorrow, are the one being destroyed today. Millions of thousands of human beings, right? Doing everything youth is being, is being lost to drug. So it tells you the in the next 10, 15 years, if this situation is not being handled properly or with care, how many youth will we be discussing? How many destroyed population will we be discussing? And what will be the percentage or what will be the impact of those in our society? So as a result, only the politicians of the day today who are failing to fight this drought, children will come tomorrow and continue in our father footsteps. Because I believe the only reason this is happening is not because you know there's no ability to fight this drug. There are a lot of resources. There are great men and women within the security sector that have the ability to dismantle this entire drug network. But hey, those who are in higher authority, like the police chief claim, say if those people are preventing the the investigation and prosecutions of people who are involved, then it tells you that where are we going? We are not going anywhere. And those same very people will continue to lead us till the next generations. Their children will come and continue to lead us until that kingdoms come. You getting me? So this is the fight that every one of us are fighting. This should not be about which tribe you're from or which political party you're from or this party facilitator or this do they do that. So one thing I want to speak of is that uh, there are a lot of folks who criticize the police, the former manner in which the former vice president was being arrested. Yeah, there are a lot of folks. There are a lot of folks, even me when I witnessed the video, I felt bad, I felt angry. But let me say this, and there were a lot of outrage, right? There were lots of outrage on social media, ranging from politicians to ordinary people, people expressing their dissatisfactions, people expressing, their anger as to the matter and fact in which, the former vice president was being disgraced, publicly disgraced, humiliated, you know, all kinds of adjectives, right? Granted, every one of us agree the behavior shown by the police was totally unprofessional, you know, and I mean, it was never, it was never commit. I think she has a security detail which reports to the EPS boss. So there would have been how you call it a proper communication between them and the security. And those guys were not going to like allow the former vice president to travel, especially when a call comes from the executive marshal that the EPS should detain or contain or inform the former vice president that she's not allowed to travel. Instead of allowing her to take off from her home, headed for the Rawa International Airport, and then subsequent, chase and later being arrested, asked to turn around and come back to the Ukraine. So every one of us agree that that kind of a treatment was wrong, it was disrespectful, it was humiliating, especially to a national leader. But let me say this. There are thousands of ordinary Liberians, men and women, children, boys and girls, who have been humiliated, disgraced in similar form and manner. There hasn't been not a single statement from those leaders, people who head those institutions, people who we are crying for today, people who we are protesting, expressing our dissatisfaction, our anger, our we've been very much outrageous as to why so and so person was being humiliated, disgraced, in the form and fashion in which it was done. So the question I want to ask you is that there are a lot of ordinary Liberians that have been accused, that were disgracefully disgraced, publicly disgraced. How many of us have ever ever, ever expressed our dissatisfaction in the form and manner in which people's rights were being violated? Or how many of those our leaders, how many of our leaders, have been expressing their dissatisfaction in the form and manner in which ordinary Liberian citizens can be handled by state security law enforcement officers? Even though the law presumes them innocent of any crime that they've been accused of until proven guilty. But there are a lot of people that are undergoing maltreatment from state security actors, and there is not a single person, be it at the national legislature, be it at the executive branch or the judiciary, there hasn't been not a single individual who have protested, especially our direct representative, which is the lawmakers. None of them have ever taken to the platform or the plenary to protest some of those, maltreatment or police brutality or alleged police brutality against, against the civilian populations. Look at the report that came from the Independent Human Rights Commission. Yeah? People don't have, their free will. I'm not the one saying it. Quoting the Independent National Human Rights Commission, the report from the INCH, the Independent National Human Rights Commission. So I think every life matter, every individual of this nation matter, no matter who's, no matter who's, no matter who is involved. When the right of somebody is being trampled upon, we should all stand together and protest it. Let's every one of us stand together and protest it. It life, involve the life of one of us. Let me, for instance, if an incident happened in the US, right? We always like to mimic our society after the United States of America. So when things happen, we always like to, bring some of those examples from that part of the world. So if you look at somebody like an American citizen being harmed in another country, even though, even if that American citizen is a criminal or was convicted of being a narco terrorist or, a murderer, but yet still, you still find, when it comes to their own, they have that bipartisanship. Or when an American citizen is being harmed within their country, you see American community, the community for which that person lives in. You see community dwellers or community members stand up for that person. They stand and advocate. But unless we on this side, for us, once it is not me, I care less. But today, the entire country want everybody to sympathize with Madam Joy. Yeah, everyone was important with Madam Joel. We stand in solidarity, not because of her name being mentioned, but because, the form and fashion in which she was being arrested. So for me, like I said to my friends, I can never put my neck on the chopping block for anybody, no matter who is involved. But what I can do is that I will call for a free, fair, and transparent trial. Let the process be independent, be void of, you know, fingering. Let each and everyone do their work independently, whether it is, a jury trial, you know, let's not intimidate the jurors and put fear in and, accuse them of things that, it doesn't matter. So we hope all those who are accused of being linked to this transnational drug outburst in Liberia. We hope that they will have their days in court, and not just having their days in court, and we will see the entire drug cartel being dismantled in this country. So, ladies and gentlemen, it was just a chip chat. We never intend to stay this long, but I don't know what happened to Comrade Timon. Timon was online, but Timon left the show. And up to now, I haven't seen you know, up to now, I haven't seen any Any reason you haven't told me any reason for which you left the show. So no problem. We will continue. Maybe tomorrow, when all factors constant. We'll continue tomorrow, and we will all discuss this. So what I want to say to you is that please follow my YouTube channel. This is the beginning of our show on YouTube. We've been having a show on Facebook. It's just that we've never been really that active. But please, we need you to follow the show. We need you to follow the show. Please follow the page. Go on Facebook and search for Abdul Bar. Please follow our you know our contents. Here we'll bring you some of the most or the hardest analysis of issue of national or trending issue in the country. Committee one intended to speak about the 1,200 deportees that have been deported to Liberia, from the United States of America. But unfortunately, I don't know. He had left the show. So I'd like to stop here. Hopefully, going forward, as of tomorrow, we will have a lengthy conversations. So we just came here to run small HJ bullet. So if you want to be part of the show, just hit me up. We will continue, we'll argue and you be part of us. We're looking for more family, more people to join us so that we can have wonderful conversations. Yeah. So thank you guys. I appreciate it.